Have you ever stopped to consider how much of your life you've been accepting without question? Are you truly living according to your own desires, or have you been quietly going along with the expectations of others, letting life pass by without fully embracing your own power and autonomy? In this video, we're going to explore how accepting everything without question, isolating yourself socially, neglecting your physical health, living in the past, sacrificing for others, and ignoring your boundaries can all hold you back from living your best life, especially as we grow older. But the good news is, it's never too late to make a change. I'll show you why it's so crucial to stop accepting everything around you without a second thought, and how doing so will help you reclaim your voice and your power. Imagine being able to make decisions that truly align with who you are, instead of being pushed by the demands of others. It's time to stop letting others dictate your life and start asserting your own desires. We'll also talk about the dangers of social isolation, especially as you age. While it may feel easier to retreat into solitude, staying connected with others is essential for your mental, emotional, and physical health. The more you engage with the world, the more you enrich your life and open yourself up to new opportunities for joy and fulfillment. But that's not all. It's also time to stop neglecting your physical health. Aging doesn't mean you have to give up on being active, feeling vibrant, and maintaining your strength. I'll share simple yet powerful habits that will help you stay physically and mentally sharp, no matter what age you are. We'll delve into the importance of letting go of the past and releasing resentment or regret. Holding on to old pain only drags you down, but learning to live fully in the present allows you to embrace all the possibilities that come with aging, rather than living in the shadow of what could have been. It's time to stop sacrificing yourself for others at the cost of your own well-being. I'll show you how to set boundaries, prioritize self-care, and rediscover your own passions without guilt or shame. So, if you're ready to live life on your own terms and embrace the power of change, watch until the end. This is your time. Let's reclaim your autonomy, health, and happiness together. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, I encourage you to click the subscribe button and ring the notification bell to stay updated on all our latest content. I'm eager to hear your thoughts on today's topic. If you enjoy the content, please comment 1 below. If it doesn't resonate with you, leave a 0. Your feedback is crucial as it helps me create better videos that align with your interests. Now, let's get started. 1. Stop accepting everything without question. As we journey through life, especially as we grow older, it's all too easy to fall into the habit of quietly accepting the opinions, choices, and expectations of those around us. In the pursuit of peace, harmony, and avoiding the discomfort of confrontation, we often begin to prioritize others' desires over our own. This process, which seems so innocuous at first, can slowly erode our confidence, our sense of self-worth, and ultimately, our ability to make choices that align with who we are deep down. The act of blindly agreeing with everything, thinking it's easier or kinder to go along, has subtle but deeply impactful consequences on our autonomy and our mental well-being. We are not passive participants in our lives. We are the authors of our own story, but over time, the more we yield to the whims of others, the more we lose our voice and our power. Initially, accepting things without question may feel like a simple, even selfless, act, one that fosters cooperation and keeps relationships smooth. However, as the days turn into years, this habit of surrendering our autonomy takes a dangerous toll. The longer we suppress our own opinions, desires, and needs, the more disconnected we become from the essence of who we are. In the process, we begin to accept a life shaped entirely by external forces, not by our inner truth. We lose sight of our dreams, our ambitions, and the wisdom we've acquired over a lifetime of experiences. In many cultures, there's an underlying expectation that older people should quietly step aside and allow younger generations to make decisions for them. It's as if aging somehow invalidates our need to have a voice, to express our opinions, or to assert our desires. This mentality is not only harmful, it is deeply disrespectful of the rich wisdom and experiences that we've accumulated throughout our lives. It assumes that, because we've reached a certain age, our perspectives are no longer relevant or needed, and this, in turn, pushes us further away from the very things that make us unique. our thoughts, our desires, and our passions. We are often told to let go of making decisions, but what if this letting go is precisely what leads us to drift away from ourselves? As we stop questioning, as we stop asserting ourselves, we begin to wither in silence. This subtle withdrawal from our own lives is perhaps one of the most painful consequences of aging quietly. Being afraid to speak out, to say no, or to voice our dissent is a kind of quiet erosion of our very identity. Why, after decades of building experience and wisdom, would we suddenly silence ourselves? We've earned the right to trust our judgment, to make our voices heard, and to live a life that is authentic and fulfilling. Yet, the longer we let others decide for us, the further we drift from the people we were always meant to be. This passive acceptance doesn't just diminish our autonomy, it clouds our connection with our true selves. Why should we stop trusting our own voice? We've spent years learning, evolving, and growing. Why, at the cusp of our greatest wisdom, should we silence the very essence of who we are? We are not here to please others. We are not here to follow blindly in the wake of someone else's vision of what our lives should be. We are here to live fully, to make choices that reflect our values, our experiences, and our authentic desires. When we let others make decisions for us, we risk living a life that is disconnected from our truth, a life that isn't ours at all. The emotional toll of this surrender is far-reaching. It isn't just a matter of missing out on what we want. It's a deep, soul-crushing sense of being lost in our own life. The longer we accept decisions made by others, the more we feel like we are not in control. Our well-being becomes entangled with someone else's choices, and with it, we lose the strength to choose for ourselves. This emotional dependence on others leaves us fragile, vulnerable, and, at times, helpless. We no longer recognize the person we've become because we have allowed others to shape our identity, our happiness, and our direction. Breaking free from this cycle is not just about setting boundaries. It's about reclaiming our power. We must take the courageous step of defending our own opinions, and more importantly, honoring our right to say no when something doesn't resonate with us. Saying no is not about rejecting others or being confrontational. It's about standing firm in who we are and what we need. It's an act of self-love, a declaration that we matter just as much as anyone else, and that our opinions are worthy of respect. Even as we grow older, we are constantly evolving, growing, learning, adapting. Life doesn't stop teaching us, and we should never stop learning from it. Aging doesn't have to mean settling for less. It doesn't have to mean fading into the background. We should never stop being curious, asking questions, seeking new perspectives, and challenging ourselves. This curiosity, this desire to understand, is what keeps us mentally sharp, emotionally engaged, and spiritually alive. In choosing to actively engage with life, we honor the gift of our own experience and wisdom. It's this deep, rich engagement with the world that sustains us and keeps us grounded. Questioning things isn't about rejecting everything outright. It's about maintaining an open mind and critically evaluating what is presented to us. We must learn to discern what aligns with our true self and what doesn't. By actively questioning, we affirm our commitment to live a life that reflects our deepest desires, not the wants and needs of others. By challenging what we are told, we preserve our independence, our self-worth, and our personal peace. If we don't question, we run the risk of losing our sense of self and relying on others to fill in the gaps. This dependency is dangerous. It renders us vulnerable, eroding our confidence and sense of purpose. But when we trust ourselves, when we speak up and defend our rights, we retain the power to make decisions that bring us joy, peace, and fulfillment. As we age, it becomes even more crucial to preserve this ability, to trust ourselves, to live on our own terms, and to never again feel the need to apologize for doing so. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. It's time to stop accepting everything without question. It's time to stop surrendering our power, our autonomy, and our authenticity. We are not here to be passive observers of our lives. We are here to live fully, fiercely, and with unwavering self-respect. It's time to speak up, to reclaim what is ours, and to live the life we've always deserved. No more yielding, no more conforming, only living with purpose, passion, and the joy of knowing that we are truly in charge of our own lives. 2. Stop isolating yourself socially. As the years pass and we journey through the different stages of life, there comes a moment when the quiet, persistent pull of isolation begins to feel inescapable. It's subtle at first, like a shadow that lengthens as the sun sets, unnoticed until it has stretched over everything. For many, aging naturally brings with it a series of profound changes, whether it's the calm but undeniable shift into retirement, the aching absence of those we once held close, or the slow but inevitable physical limitations that begin to rob us of our previous vitality. At times, these challenges feel so heavy that social interaction can appear not just burdensome, but almost impossible to navigate. What may begin as a retreat into solitude, an attempt to shield ourselves from emotional pain, to find respite from the constant pull of the outside world, or to conserve energy as our bodies grow tired, can, if left unchecked, spiral into something far more dangerous. Social isolation becomes a silent thief, creeping in, stealing not only our happiness and peace but also our well-being and health. Though it's a truth we might not want to admit, the need for human connection never fades with age. In fact, it only intensifies. The temptation to withdraw, to retreat into the sanctuary of our own company, often feels like the easier path, the path of least resistance. It may seem as though the weight of loneliness is too heavy to bear, and the idea of reaching out to others might seem like a distant dream, something better left behind in our younger years. As time passes, we begin to rationalize our solitude. We tell ourselves that we're simply too tired to interact, that the endless cycle of social events no longer appeals to us, or that we need more time to ourselves to simply rest and recuperate. It can become so easy to convince ourselves that we don't need the company of others, that we are somehow above the need for connection. I'm fine on my own, we say, almost as if to silence the ache in our hearts. We rationalize by saying, I don't need to go out as often anymore. I'm just fine being alone. But over time, this way of thinking can slowly suffocate the very joy and vibrancy we once had. We begin to buy into the dangerous myth that our need for others diminishes as we age. And with that, we start to lose sight of the essential truth. Human connection is not just a luxury. It is vital for our emotional, mental, and physical well-being. The longer we retreat into isolation, the deeper we fall into the trap of loneliness. What may have started as a protective cocoon, a safe space to heal or simply rest, becomes, over time, a prison. Loneliness settles in like an unwelcome guest, wrapping itself around us, tightening its grip. It robs us of the joy we once found in the simple pleasures of life, replacing it with an almost imperceptible ache, a dull and constant reminder that we've distanced ourselves from the very thing that could heal us, the people around us. At first, the solitude feels peaceful, like a retreat into safety. But slowly, the emotional weight becomes unbearable. We may not realize how deeply it is affecting us until we feel the deep loneliness creep in, replacing our inner peace with a gnawing emptiness. As we isolate ourselves more, the emotional toll becomes impossible to ignore. The sadness intensifies. We become more vulnerable to the dark corners of depression, anxiety, and a paralyzing sense of hopelessness. What began as an act of self-preservation slowly evolves into a psychological and emotional prison from which we struggle to escape. Yet the impact of isolation isn't just emotional. It spills over into our physical health as well. The body, just like the mind, suffers from the effects of prolonged loneliness. Studies have repeatedly shown that older adults who withdraw from social interaction are at a higher risk for developing serious health conditions such as cardiovascular disease, dementia, and even higher mortality rates. Social isolation weakens our immune system, elevates our stress levels, and makes it more difficult for our bodies to cope with the inevitable changes that come with aging. The lack of human interaction takes its toll on our physical health in ways that can be both subtle and severe. What we don't realize is that our relationships, our interactions with others, are inextricably linked to our ability to thrive. When we shrink those relationships, we also shrink our chances of living a healthy, fulfilling life. But there's more to social interaction than just protecting ourselves from illness. It's about keeping our minds sharp, our spirits alive, and our sense of purpose intact. Every conversation, every shared laugh, every warm moment spent with others is an opportunity to reconnect with life itself. These interactions are not just moments in time, they are lifelines. They encourage us to keep learning, to keep growing, to keep challenging ourselves and the world around us. When we withdraw, we narrow our world, and with it, our sense of meaning. Life becomes smaller, quieter, less vibrant. But when we choose to remain engaged with others, we stay curious. We stay open. We remain ready to embrace new perspectives, new challenges, and new experiences. Even in our later years, life has so much to offer, and the richest opportunities lie in the connections we build. Our minds, just like our bodies, need exercise. And the best form of exercise for the mind is the lively exchange of ideas, stories, and emotions that only come from interacting with other people. For many older adults, the fear of rejection or the discomfort of confronting our own limitations often holds us back. It's only natural to feel self-conscious when we can no longer keep up with the physical activities of the past, or when we notice that our memory isn't as sharp as it once was. But it's important to recognize that this fear of inadequacy often prevents us from seeing the truth. Those who love us don't expect perfection. They never have. Our friends, family, and communities don't judge us based on how well we keep pace with life. They care about us because of the bond we've shared, the love we've given, and the memories we've created together over the years. Their support isn't rooted in our ability to remain unchanged. It's built on the foundation of trust, respect, and shared experiences. Moreover, technology has emerged as an invaluable tool for maintaining connections, especially when physical limitations make it difficult to go out. Video calls, social media, and text messages provide us with powerful ways to stay in touch, ensuring that we remain connected to our loved ones even from afar. These tools offer a lifeline to those who may feel isolated, enabling us to bridge the gap that distance and mobility can create. With technology, we can continue to be a part of the world, even if we can no longer physically engage in the ways we once did. These tools help us combat loneliness and keep us from feeling left behind. The truth is, social isolation is one of the most preventable risks to our health and happiness as we age. It's a self-imposed limitation, and like any limitation, we have the power to overcome it. The power of human connection remains as essential as ever, and it's never too late to seek out relationships that nourish us, to step outside our comfort zones, and to embrace the world around us. Whether it's rekindling old friendships, joining new social groups, or simply reaching out more often to those we care about, the opportunities to reconnect are endless. We must stop seeing isolation as a sanctuary and start recognizing it for what it truly is, a barrier, a wall that keeps us from living a richer, fuller life. We were not meant to live in isolation. The world is full of people, friends, family, even strangers, who are waiting to share their love, their stories, and their companionship with us. They are waiting to enrich our lives in ways we never imagined. Choosing to embrace social connection as we age is not merely about enhancing our emotional and mental well-being. It can literally add years to our lives. The more we reach out, the more we open ourselves up to the joy, the love, and the warmth that relationships bring. The best years of our lives are still ahead of us. It's time to stop withdrawing and start reaching out. By engaging with the world around us, by staying connected, by nurturing the relationships we have, and by seeking new connections, we ensure that our final years are filled with meaning, purpose, and the warmth of human companionship. Let us not wait for life to pass us by, but instead, let us live it fully, surrounded by the love and connections that make our journey worthwhile. The world is waiting for us. Let's embrace it, heart first. 3. Stop neglecting your physical health. As the years go by, many of us start to believe that our physical health becomes less important. We may begin to think that, because our bodies are naturally changing, it's no longer worth the effort to stay active or to care for ourselves in the same way we once did. Perhaps we tell ourselves the inevitable limitations of aging, stiff joints, weakening muscles, and slower reflexes, are a valid excuse to stop trying. But this way of thinking is not only misguided, it's one of the most dangerous traps we can fall into as we age. Neglecting our physical health is an open invitation for further decline, and the consequences stretch far beyond just physical discomfort. It seeps into every aspect of our lives, eroding our quality of life and even shortening our lifespan. It's a slippery slope, and all too often, we don't realize how deeply this mindset impacts us until the consequences become undeniable and irreversible. Aging undeniably changes our bodies in ways we can't ignore. Our joints may stiffen, our muscles may lose some of their former strength, and our energy levels may not be as high as they once were. These changes are a natural part of the life cycle, but they don't have to define who we are or dictate how we live. Just because our bodies are aging doesn't mean we should surrender ourselves to a life of inactivity, discomfort, or decline. In fact, it is precisely at this stage of life when caring for our physical health becomes more important than ever. The choices we make today, how we move, how we nourish our bodies, and how we maintain our physical well-being, will play a critical role in how we experience our later years. The more we invest in our physical health, the better we are able to manage the challenges of aging and preserve the vitality that makes life worth living. Physical activity and healthy habits can dramatically enhance our mobility, strength, and overall well-being. By staying physically active, we allow ourselves to feel more alive, more capable, and more engaged in the world around us, even as the years pass by. It's about more than just looking good or fitting into a certain size. It's about feeling empowered, energized, and able to do the things we love for as long as possible. Regular exercise isn't just a luxury, it's a vital part of maintaining a high quality of life. It is a powerful tool we have at our disposal to combat the physical changes that come with aging and to prevent further decline. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Maintaining a consistent, moderate exercise routine is key to slowing the effects of aging. This doesn't require extreme measures or intense workouts that leave us drained or feeling defeated. Instead, simple, everyday movement can make all the difference. Taking a daily walk, engaging in stretching exercises, or participating in low-impact activities like swimming or yoga, these gentle movements can have profound, life-changing effects on our physical and mental health. They help us maintain flexibility, strengthen our muscles, and enhance our mobility, all of which are critical in maintaining our independence and functionality as we age. These activities also lower our risk of falling, a major concern for older adults, and significantly reduce the likelihood of sustaining serious injuries from falls that could lead to long-term health consequences. Staying active helps to keep our muscles and joints functioning at their best, giving us the freedom to continue living the life we want, for as long as possible. But the benefits of exercise extend far beyond just maintaining mobility. Regular physical activity is one of the most effective ways to prevent, and even manage, chronic diseases that become more prevalent with age, such as diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, and even certain forms of cancer. These health conditions are often seen as inevitable byproducts of aging, but they don't have to be. Through the power of consistent movement and exercise, we can reduce our risk of these conditions and, in many cases, reverse their effects. For those who already have health concerns, exercise can be a crucial part of managing their condition. It helps regulate blood sugar levels in people with diabetes, helps maintain healthy blood pressure, and strengthens the heart, significantly lowering the risk of cardiovascular events. Our hearts and lungs, in particular, thrive when we engage in physical activity, helping to maintain overall cardiovascular health and ensuring that we can continue to live an active, energetic lifestyle well into our later years. The emotional and psychological benefits of physical activity are just as important. Exercise not only strengthens our bodies, but it also strengthens our minds. It boosts our mood, enhances our sense of well-being, and combats the mental fog and fatigue that can sometimes come with aging. The sense of accomplishment from completing a workout or even taking a brisk walk around the block can elevate our self-esteem and provide a powerful sense of purpose. Physical health and mental health are intricately connected. When we take care of our bodies, we help protect our minds as well. Every step we take toward better physical health brings us closer to a more vibrant, fulfilled, and engaged life. The truth is, aging doesn't have to mean the inevitable decline of our bodies or our quality of life. With the right mindset and the right habits, we can defy the common stereotypes of aging. By staying active and nurturing our physical health, we can not only add years to our lives, but we can also add life to our years. It's never too late to start taking care of our bodies, and every positive change we make today will have a ripple effect, improving not only our physical health but also our mental, emotional, and social well-being. So, stop neglecting your physical health. Don't let the inevitable changes of aging be an excuse to give up. Choose to move, choose to care for your body, and choose to live the fullest life possible, no matter what stage of life you're in. Remember, the more you care for your body, the more your body will be able to care for you. Our bodies are the vessels that carry us through life. They deserve our love, attention, and respect. Let's not wait until the damage is done to realize how much we need to take action. Take the first step today and commit to a lifestyle of physical care that will serve you for many years to come. Your health, your happiness, and your future self will thank you for it. Beyond physical health, the emotional and psychological benefits of regular exercise are equally important. Studies have shown that exercise helps reduce symptoms of depression and anxiety, both of which become more common in later years. Staying active promotes the release of endorphins, the body's natural mood lifters, which combat feelings of sadness, loneliness, and anxiety. Engaging in physical activity also helps combat cognitive decline, keeping the brain sharp, clear, and engaged. Regular exercise strengthens not only our muscles and bones, but also our mental resilience, emotional well-being, and cognitive abilities. Even light exercise has a profound effect on reducing stress, improving sleep, and boosting mood, which is vital for maintaining mental clarity and joy in our daily lives. In addition to staying active, maintaining a healthy diet is absolutely crucial to physical health. As we age, our bodies require different nutrients, and it's essential to adapt our diet to meet these changing needs. What we eat has a direct impact on how we feel and how well our bodies function. A balanced diet rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, lean proteins, and healthy fats helps to maintain a healthy weight, reduce inflammation, and support overall vitality. Proper nutrition fuels our bodies with the energy needed to perform daily tasks, enhances our immune system, and helps maintain strong bones and muscles. One of the most critical aspects of our diet is hydration. As we grow older, our bodies tend to become less aware of dehydration, and many older adults suffer from it without realizing it. Dehydration can cause serious problems with our kidneys, digestion, and skin, and it can even lead to confusion and cognitive decline. Ensuring we drink plenty of water throughout the day is one of the simplest, most effective ways to safeguard our health. In addition to drinking water, we should also incorporate hydrating foods like cucumbers, watermelon, and leafy greens into our meals. By staying properly hydrated, we help maintain our body's equilibrium and energy levels, which are vital for feeling good and functioning at our best. However, diet and exercise alone are not enough. Regular medical checkups are another critical component of staying healthy as we age. Many older adults make the mistake of skipping doctor visits, either because they're afraid of bad news or because they feel that nothing can be done to improve their health. This is a dangerous mindset. Preventative care and early detection are key to preventing many of the health issues that affect older adults. By visiting the doctor regularly, we can catch potential health issues early, treat them effectively, and make necessary lifestyle changes before problems become more severe. Routine checkups, including screenings for cholesterol, blood pressure, and bone density, can uncover potential risks before they become critical. For example, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, and osteoporosis can all be managed with timely interventions. Regular medical checkups help ensure that we are monitoring any pre-existing conditions, such as arthritis or diabetes, and adjusting our lifestyle accordingly. Early diagnosis and treatment can vastly improve the quality of our lives, ensuring we remain active and engaged for years to come. It's easy to dismiss the importance of medical visits, but these checkups can literally be life-saving. Furthermore, medical professionals are invaluable resources when it comes to managing our physical health. They can help us find the right diet plan, suggest safe and effective exercises for our unique needs, and guide us in managing any chronic conditions. By following their advice and sticking to our health plan, we empower ourselves to take control of our own well-being. The decision to stop neglecting our physical health is one of the most important choices we can make at any stage in life, but it's particularly crucial as we age. The more we invest in our physical health, the more we are able to enjoy the later years of life with energy, vitality, and independence. Aging does not have to be synonymous with decline. We have the power to thrive in our later years by staying active, eating nutritious foods, staying hydrated, and seeking regular medical care. By taking charge of our physical health, we give ourselves the best possible chance to live the life we deserve, one filled with strength, energy, and joy. The path to a long, fulfilling life starts with the commitment to care for our bodies, and it's never too late to begin. 4. Stop living in the past. As we grow older, one of the most common and insidious traps we fall into is living in the past. We find ourselves constantly replaying memories, idealizing better times, or lamenting missed opportunities. While it's natural to reflect on the past, to draw wisdom from the experiences that have shaped us, clinging too tightly to those memories can prevent us from fully engaging with the present moment. It can create a barrier that keeps us from embracing the life we have now and all that it has to offer. Letting go of the past is not just about moving forward. It's about finding peace in the present and cultivating the courage to face what lies ahead with hope and purpose. The passage of time has granted us many rich, meaningful experiences, achievements, relationships, joys, and struggles that have helped us grow into who we are today. However, as we reach our later years, the temptation to look back and compare our present circumstances to what we once had can become overwhelming. Whether it's our youth, our health, our careers, or the relationships that have shifted over the years, these changes can stir feelings of loss and regret. It's only natural to wish we could return to a time when things seemed simpler, more vibrant, or when we felt more capable. But while it's understandable to long for the past, we must not let it rob us of the richness that exists in the now. Living in the past often leads to an unhealthy habit of comparison. We compare ourselves to the younger versions of who we were, or to the lives of others, and this only breeds frustration and sadness. We may find ourselves regretting choices we made, or we may yearn for experiences and opportunities that are no longer possible. This constant longing for the past steals away the beauty of the present moment. In doing so, we fail to see the value of what we have now, and we blind ourselves to the potential for growth and joy that still exists. It's crucial to remember that every phase of life carries its own worth. The past was significant, yes, but the present is equally rich with possibility. We must learn to fully accept and embrace the gifts that come with aging and change, instead of mourning the loss of what we no longer have. Stopping the habit of living in the past doesn't mean we erase or forget the lessons learned, the memories we cherish, or the achievements we've made. It doesn't mean that the past is unimportant or that we should minimize the experiences that shaped us. Rather, it's about shifting our mindset so that we can look back with gratitude, acknowledging the wisdom those experiences have given us, but without being trapped in them. We are not bound to live in the shadows of past successes or regrets. We have the power to create new memories, to discover new joys, and to embrace opportunities that still lie ahead. As we age, we may find that our energy levels, our physical capabilities, or our ambitions have changed. But this doesn't mean we can't still find fulfillment. Life is about adapting to change, not resisting it. While we may no longer have the same vitality we once did, we are still capable of exploring new passions, learning new things, and connecting with others in meaningful ways. The beauty of aging lies in the ability to discover that there are still so many aspects of life to enjoy, even if they are different from those we experienced before. An essential part of stopping the habit of living in the past is learning to accept the changes that come with aging. Over time, everything changes, Our bodies age, our relationships evolve, and our priorities shift. At times, these changes can be difficult to accept, and it's natural to resist them. But when we resist the inevitable, we burden ourselves emotionally and miss the chance to truly live in the moment. Acceptance is the key to freedom. By acknowledging and accepting these inevitable changes, we release ourselves from the emotional weight of regret, resistance, and longing for what's no longer possible. This acceptance opens us up to new experiences, new connections, and a deeper sense of peace with the present. The truth is, the past cannot be relived, and while our memories will always be a part of us, they are not meant to define who we are today. The present is the only place where we have the power to create, to love, and to live fully. If we spend too much of our time looking back, we miss the beauty and the opportunities that exist right in front of us. By choosing to embrace the present and its endless potential, we free ourselves to experience a life that is full of meaning and joy, a life that is uniquely ours. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment number 3 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. So, let go of the past, not in a way that disregards or forgets it, but in a way that honors the lessons it taught us while still allowing us to move forward. Every stage of life holds its own magic, its own chances to grow, to connect, and to find new meaning. The best is yet to come, and the key to unlocking that future is by embracing the now with open arms, gratitude, and the willingness to adapt to all the wonderful possibilities that await. 5. Stop sacrificing for others. Throughout the course of our lives, many of us become conditioned to the deeply ingrained belief that our worth, our value as human beings, lies in the sacrifices we make for others, especially for our families, friends, and loved ones. This sacrificial love, often fueled by a profound sense of duty, devotion, and care, becomes an unspoken promise we make to ourselves and to those around us. To give endlessly, to give of our time, our energy, our resources, and even our very hearts. It's a way to show that we care, to prove our love, and to demonstrate that we can be counted on, no matter the cost. We wear this sacrifice like a badge of honor, telling ourselves that it's all worth it because it's done for those we cherish. But what happens when this selflessness, this endless giving, starts to chip away at us, slowly draining the very essence of who we are? What happens when the well of our generosity runs dry, and we're left feeling empty, exhausted, and unfulfilled? This becomes particularly challenging as we grow older, when the body, mind, and spirit inevitably begin to slow down. We start to feel the weight of years spent caring for others, fulfilling responsibilities, and silencing our own desires in the name of love and duty. We may have spent decades tending to the needs of our children, our spouses, or our communities, all the while neglecting the very thing that makes us whole, ourselves. Our physical energy starts to deplete, our emotional reserves feel stretched thin, and the mental clarity we once enjoyed seems to slip away. We feel the burden of time catching up with us, but the expectation to keep sacrificing, to keep giving, never fades. And this is where the shift needs to happen. Stopping the sacrifice for others is not just an important lesson, it's a life-saving act as we age. It's a radical rethinking of what it means to love and care for others. While it's completely natural to want to help those we love, especially when we've spent our lives doing so, it's also essential to acknowledge that it's just as important to take care of ourselves. We cannot pour from an empty cup, and by neglecting our own well-being, we're not only hurting ourselves, but we're also limiting our ability to be there for those we care about in a meaningful, sustainable way. To truly love others, we must first learn to love ourselves, and that means setting boundaries, embracing rest, and giving ourselves permission to stop the endless cycle of sacrifice. Only by doing so can we find the strength and joy to continue being present for others, without feeling depleted, resentful, or taken for granted. This process of stopping the sacrifice is not about becoming selfish or abandoning our loved ones. On the contrary, it is one of the most loving and generous things we can do, not only for ourselves but for those we care about. It's about giving ourselves permission to exist for us, to put ourselves at the top of our priorities, without guilt or shame. It's about recognizing that we, too, deserve to live joyfully and peacefully, without the constant weight of expectation. It's about making a conscious choice to preserve our energy, our peace of mind, and our physical health so that we can enjoy the fullness of life in our later years. By choosing ourselves, we're not rejecting others. We're simply acknowledging that our well-being is just as valuable. In fact, by nurturing ourselves, we allow ourselves to continue being a source of love, support, and strength, but from a place of renewal, not exhaustion. The challenge, however, is immense. For many older adults, the pressure to continue sacrificing for others can be overwhelming, especially when it comes from those closest to us. Family members, particularly children, often expect their aging parents to continue offering support, whether it's in the form of caring for grandchildren, helping with housework, or providing emotional assistance. These expectations can feel like an unspoken contract, and there may be a deep sense of guilt or discomfort that arises when we realize we can't continue to give at the same pace. It's a guilt that can feel suffocating, like we're betraying our loved ones by acknowledging that our own needs matter. But this guilt is misguided. It's essential to remember that we are allowed to say no, to set clear boundaries, to step back from the constant role of caregiver, without feeling like we're failing anyone. In fact, saying no is an act of love. It's a way of saying, I love you, but I also love myself, and I want to be here for you, but I need to take care of my own health so I can continue to do so. The truth is that this process is not easy. It's emotionally charged and requires a shift in mindset, a shift from a place of constant giving to a place of mindful receiving, from martyrdom to self-compassion. Many of us have been the ones who have always been there for everyone else, the reliable one, the fixer, the caregiver. To stop this cycle can feel like we're abandoning those we love, but it's not. We are simply giving them the space to grow. By setting boundaries and choosing ourselves, we are empowering our loved ones to become more independent, to face their own challenges, and to learn to solve their own problems. We're giving them the opportunity to grow stronger, more resilient, and more capable. This is the greatest gift we can give them, not our exhaustion, but our strength, our peace, and our ability to show up in a way that isn't born of depletion but of vitality. And in doing so, we free ourselves. We free ourselves from the overwhelming pressure to be constantly available, constantly giving, constantly sacrificing. We give ourselves the permission to rest, to reflect, to simply be. We allow ourselves to enjoy the simple pleasures of life, whether it's a quiet moment alone with a book, a leisurely walk in the park, or time spent reconnecting with old passions and hobbies. We give ourselves the space to enjoy the things that bring us joy, to nurture the relationships that matter, and to be at peace with who we are. By stepping back from the constant sacrifice, we create the time and energy to reconnect with our deepest desires, to explore the dreams we put aside for so many years, and to enjoy the tranquility that comes with aging gracefully. In the end, stopping the sacrifice for others is not an abandonment of love, it is a reclamation of self. It is a bold, courageous declaration that we are worthy of care, of rest, of joy, and of peace. And by honoring our own needs, we open the door for others to do the same, creating a ripple effect that benefits everyone. We are not just preserving our own health, but we are creating a model of self-respect, boundary setting, and love that our families can carry forward for generations. By learning to say no, by learning to choose ourselves, we are giving ourselves the greatest gift of all, the gift of a life lived fully, authentically, and with profound peace. 6. Stop ignoring physical and emotional boundaries. As we age, one of the most profound lessons we must learn is the art of recognizing, respecting, and honoring our own limits, both physical and emotional. For much of our lives, we have been conditioned to push through exhaustion, to override our own needs for the sake of work, family obligations, and personal ambition. We've often ignored our body's signals, believing that our willpower could triumph over fatigue, pain, and stress. But as time passes and our bodies and minds inevitably age, this mindset can become increasingly harmful. We can no longer afford to overlook the boundaries our bodies and minds set for us. It's time to shift our perspective, to listen, to adapt, and to allow ourselves the grace of accepting these limits as a natural and necessary part of life. Ignoring our physical and emotional limits can have grave consequences, affecting both our health and our emotional well-being. These boundaries exist to protect us, to help us thrive in a sustainable way as we move through the later stages of life. While we may feel the urge to continue operating at the same pace we once did, whether out of pride, nostalgia, or a sense of duty, this only puts us at risk. The body ages, and with that natural aging process comes a decline in our physical capabilities. However, this doesn't mean we should resign ourselves to a sedentary existence. It simply means we need to redefine what activity looks like for us. Ignoring these limits and pushing ourselves beyond what we can handle can result in injuries, strain, or chronic conditions. It's easy to overestimate our abilities, especially when the memory of youth still lingers in our minds, but the toll it takes on our health can be profound. Whether it's attempting to lift something too heavy, engaging in high-intensity exercise, or pursuing activities that require balance, agility, or stamina, failing to listen to our bodies can have devastating effects on our long-term health. Learning to accept our physical limitations isn't about giving up independence or resigning to a life of inaction. It's about adapting. It's about finding new, safer ways to stay active, ways that support and nourish our bodies without pushing them past their breaking points. This shift doesn't mean slowing down completely. It means slowing down in ways that are in tune with our physical reality. Embracing movement that serves us, such as stretching, walking, swimming, or gentle yoga, allows us to stay active and engaged without risking injury or exhaustion. It's about cherishing the small, simple joys of movement and learning to appreciate the body for what it can still do, rather than focusing on what it cannot. Equally important, we must stop ignoring our emotional limits. Throughout our lives, we faced countless emotional challenges: stress from work, anxiety over relationships, sadness from loss, and frustration from unmet expectations. And many of us have learned to suppress, to push down these emotions in order to fulfill our obligations. We were taught to endure, to push forward, to mask our vulnerability with strength. But in the later stages of life, continuing to ignore our emotional needs can lead to a profound sense of burnout, depression, and emotional fatigue. We can no longer afford to carry these unaddressed emotions, especially when they threaten to overwhelm us. It's natural to feel vulnerable as we age, to experience moments of fear, grief, and sadness. Instead of suppressing these emotions, we must learn to sit with them, to acknowledge them without judgment, and to seek healthy outlets for processing our feelings. Whether through meditation, therapy, journaling, or simply confiding in a trusted friend, giving ourselves the space to feel and heal is essential for our emotional well-being. Recognizing and respecting our emotional limits also means knowing when we've taken on too much responsibility. Many older adults feel a deep need to remain as productive and involved as they once were, often out of a sense of duty or fear of becoming irrelevant. We may feel compelled to care for others, to participate actively in social events, or to maintain an unrealistic level of activity, even when our bodies and minds are no longer equipped for it. This desire to stay busy, to stay useful, can lead to burnout and exhaustion. But it's important to understand that we are allowed to say no, to step back, and to prioritize ourselves without guilt. Taking breaks, stepping out of the constant flow of responsibilities, and reassessing our priorities is not a weakness, it's an act of wisdom. It's about recognizing that, just as we've learned to care for others throughout our lives, we must now learn to care for ourselves. The act of stopping the habit of ignoring our limits also involves letting go of the need to compare ourselves to our younger selves, or to others around us who may seem to have more energy or vitality. This constant comparison only breeds frustration, resentment, and dissatisfaction. Every body ages differently, and what's possible for one person may not be for another. There's no one-size-fits-all approach to aging. Instead of longing for the vitality we once had or looking at others and wishing we could keep up, it's far more productive to focus on what our own bodies and minds need in this moment. What brings us joy? What feels fulfilling? What is truly nourishing? By focusing on the present and being grateful for what we can still do, we can cultivate a sense of acceptance and peace with our aging process. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment number 4 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. This shift toward embracing our limits allows us to live with more clarity, gratitude, and fulfillment. It doesn't mean we give up on growth or enjoyment. It means we embrace the beauty of this stage of life, as it is. We begin to enjoy life not by fighting against our physical or emotional boundaries, but by moving within them, making the most of what we can do, and finding new ways to thrive. By respecting our limits, we open up the possibility of living a more balanced, peaceful, and joyful life. One that doesn't depend on unrealistic expectations or comparisons to others, but instead on an honest and loving acceptance of who we are right now. 7. Stop living with resentment or regret. One of the most profound and freeing decisions we can make as we grow older is to stop living with resentment or regret. These heavy, suffocating emotions have a way of quietly settling into our lives, lingering in the background like dark clouds that steal the brightness from each passing day. Over the course of a lifetime, we all encounter moments that leave deep marks on us, painful experiences, heartbreaks, and times when we felt betrayed or hurt. It's natural to feel resentment toward those who wronged us, or to experience regret over choices we made or failed to make. But as we age, we must come to terms with the fact that holding on to these negative emotions can do far more harm than good. Resentment and regret don't just hold us in the past. They poison our ability to live fully in the present and rob us of our peace of mind. Living with resentment is like carrying a heavy, invisible weight on our shoulders. That bitter anger, that festering bitterness toward the people who have wronged us, it doesn't just linger, it festers and grows, eating away at our emotional well-being. Often, the situations that spark resentment happened years ago, sometimes even decades, but the hurt continues to live within us, as fresh and painful as the day it occurred. This is because resentment doesn't just affect the people who hurt us, it destroys us from within. It makes us bitter, keeps us trapped in the past, and fills our minds with negative thoughts that cloud our every moment. The more we allow resentment to consume us, the more we diminish our own capacity for joy, for happiness, and for peace. Perhaps the most damaging aspect of resentment is the way it harms our physical health. When we carry resentment in our hearts, it creates an emotional strain that manifests in physical ways. Our blood pressure rises, our stress levels spike, and over time, this can weaken our immune system, making us more vulnerable to illness. Our emotional burdens become too heavy to bear, and the toll on our health becomes increasingly evident. Letting go of resentment is not only an act of emotional healing, it's an act of self-preservation. The longer we hold on to these toxic emotions, the more we diminish our health and well-being. Releasing resentment is not about forgetting what happened, nor is it about excusing the actions of others. It's not about saying that what was done to us was okay, or that we should trust those who have hurt us again. Forgiveness does not mean justification, it means letting go. It's about liberating ourselves from the chains of anger and pain that bind us. By forgiving, we aren't condoning the wrongs. We are choosing to free ourselves from the emotional imprisonment that these feelings create. Forgiveness is a deeply personal process, one that allows us to move forward without being dragged down by the past. It's about finding peace within ourselves, even when the situation that caused the hurt remains unresolved. And most importantly, it's about recognizing that we deserve to live without the weight of resentment hanging over us, dragging us into emotional turmoil. While forgiveness is a crucial part of letting go of resentment, it's also important to acknowledge that this process takes time. It's not always easy. It's often a deeply painful and difficult journey, but one that leads to profound emotional freedom. Therapy, meditation, self-reflection, and simply talking with someone we trust can be incredibly helpful tools to guide us through the process of releasing resentment. In this journey, we regain control over our emotions, we stop letting the past dictate our present, and we open ourselves to the possibility of healing. As we release resentment, we create room for greater peace, joy, and love in our lives, both for ourselves and for those around us. Regret is another emotional burden that can weigh heavily on us as we age. It's so easy to look back at the decisions we made in our lives and think, what if I had done things differently? What if I had taken a different path, been braver, more bold, or made different choices? We may feel sorrow over missed opportunities, relationships that didn't work out, or paths we didn't take. It's natural to wish that we had done things differently, But regret is a trap. It keeps us fixated on the past, hindering us from fully embracing the present and the possibilities that still lie ahead. Regret is a silent thief. It robs us of our peace and stops us from living in the moment. What we must remember is that at the time, we made the best choices we could with the information and the emotional resources we had available. We acted according to the circumstances we faced, and while hindsight often provides clarity, we cannot change the past. Regret keeps us tethered to what could have been, but it doesn't offer a path forward. It locks us in a perpetual cycle of self-criticism and discontent. Instead of focusing on the what-ifs and the should-have-beens, we must learn to embrace the fact that life doesn't always follow a straight line. Our paths may have been winding and full of unexpected turns, but they have led us to this moment, and this moment is all we have. We can't change what happened, but we can change how we move forward. As we reach the later years of life, it's essential to recognize that our attitudes toward the past need to shift in order to fully embrace the present. We've spent years, decades, even, navigating the complexities of life, learning from mistakes, and growing through our experiences. But now, it's time to let go of the old patterns, the patterns that hold us back from enjoying the peace we deserve. Living with resentment and regret creates unnecessary burdens that weigh on our hearts and minds. These emotions limit us. They keep us stuck in a past that no longer serves us. But by learning to let go of them, we free ourselves from the shackles of old pain, from the constant questioning of missed opportunities, and from the bitter feelings that cloud our vision. Aging presents us with a rare opportunity to reflect on our lives, to reassess our priorities, and to reconnect with what truly matters. But this can only happen if we are willing to make the necessary emotional adjustments to let go of resentment and regret. When we release these emotions, we open ourselves to a new phase of life, a phase filled with peace, acceptance, and the joy of simply being. We can finally live without the heavy weight of the past dragging us down. By forgiving ourselves and others, and by accepting the choices we've made, we give ourselves the gift of freedom, a freedom that allows us to embrace the present moment and fully experience the beauty of this stage in life. Living in the present, free from the weight of resentment and regret, gives us the ability to reflect, to reconnect with our deepest desires, and to find new meaning in the years ahead. It's only when we are free of these emotional burdens that we can truly live in peace, with gratitude for the journey we've taken and excitement for the future that still awaits. So, what have you learned so far? Have you realized the importance of questioning the things you've accepted without thought? Maybe you've discovered the power of staying socially connected, or how essential it is to care for your physical and emotional health as you age. Perhaps letting go of past regrets and not sacrificing yourself for others stood out to you as a game changer. I'd love to hear from you. Comment below and let me know one thing you've learned today that you're going to start practicing in your own life. What shift are you ready to make for your well-being and happiness? If you enjoyed this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more inspiring content. Let's keep this conversation going and continue to grow together. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.